Leanne display the sound they bring you like ball in the skates, give change the word funny me. Oh no house and how they bring you like bushless the soaring hay like a civil law. That chorus, hay like a civil law, Sally Vrinula is the name of the girl. And hay like a civil law on the last line is elope and run away with me. Farm up and march and make our fart and the first was at the slaughter of young and younger. Oh, no house that how may bring you the bushless the soaring tail of the civil law. Master Buck War, McDonald, the Cardiff, which looked me waters, me poking my American. Oh, no house that how may bring you the bushless the soaring tail of the civil law. Master Buck War, get John, the electric neuroshi, the Morrissey, stocky not one sheet. Oh, no house that how may bring you the bushless the soaring tail of the civil law. Near Falmouth, get Gallagher, Harold, Action pitching down and cowl on oh, house, how they bring you now, bushless is sorry, Ela is similar.
For your safety, please note the location of the nearest exit. Emergency exits are located at the rear and right side of the auditorium. For your convenience, restrooms are available on the east side of the lobby. At this time, we request that all cell phones, pagers, and watch alarms be turned off. When the performance begins, please enter or exit only between songs or acts. For the safety of our performers, please refrain from using flash photography during the performance. Thank you for your cooperation in these matters, and we hope you enjoy the performance.
Hello, welcome to the Fine Arts first concert of the season. Thank you so much for coming and being here with us. We greatly appreciate your attendance. This year our concerts are dedicated to Alice Shoemaker. Alice Shoemaker was a very dedicated person to the fine arts. She liked music of all kinds. I kept asking Dale, which concert should we dedicate to her? What music did she like the best? She said she likes them all. So we just decided we'd cover all the bases and say, all of this season is dedicated to Alice Shoemaker. In the program, we have a list of the upcoming concerts. November the 2nd will be Tuba Day. We honor William Bell. We have been doing this for 41 years. There will be a guest conductor. He will do a concert at 3 for the ensemble and anybody else that wants to come and listen to him. And then the ensemble will play at 4 p.m. and then they'll go out to the cemetery and play at the graveside. And you're welcome to join him out there. And they do it whether it's raining or snowing or the sun shining. So it's really an interesting day. So if you don't have anything to do on Saturday, and it will be at the Methodist Church, it won't be here. So come to the church for Tuba Day. And December 8th, we will have a Christmas concert. It'll be done by the String Ties. And the String Ties is a bluegrass band from Minnesota. And I'm really looking forward to that. So I hope you can come and join us for that. Today, we are having Ann and Charlie Heymann. They're internationally known for their Gaelic harp music from Ireland and Highland, Scotland. And I've been listening to them get ready, and it sounds wonderful. So please welcome Ann and Charlie.
Good afternoon. We're delighted to be here in this beautiful theater in Perry. I'm originally from Minnesota, and Charlie's originally from Chicago. And the first, 15 years of married life, we lived on the road touring around this country and around Europe and Australia, and finally we had to get a house when our oldest girl was turning 5 and the younger one was 2.5. So we settled down a bit, but in our travels, this is a song that we learned from doing an Irish radio show at a pub in Chicago. And the host would always begin his show with this song.
And the chorus.
And this is old. It goes back. It was on the jukebox there in the early 70s. So
The chorus is a traditional Irish welcome. So we'd like to start off some mini programs with this because to welcome you to Ireland.
well, welcome you.
The chorus goes, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and walk right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. And the Irish audiences that know this song like to knock with their hands, like every time. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Like that on the choruses. So you don't need to do that, but if you're feeling particularly Irish this afternoon, you're welcome to. And it's about a fellow who made his own whiskey at home and sold it illegally because he didn't have a license, and it caught up with him eventually. His name was Riley. Let's give the chorus once through here. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and go walk right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. Have you ever been to Riley's place outside of Ballyduff? They say he has the finest still that ever brewed the stuff. If you like to drink a Mountain Dew, just go there any day. And when Riley hears you coming, sure he'll lift his voice and say, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and walk right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. Now the quality of Riley's brew led quickly to his fame, and soon the local sergeant had caught on to his game. He hopped up on his bicycle and rode down Riley's way, and to his most officious knock, he heard O'Reilly say, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and walk right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. Now when Riley went before the judge, he thought he'd just be fined. But it turns out that O'Reilly's judge was not the drinking kind. He packed O'Reilly off to jail with very small delay. And when Riley reached the prison gate, he heard the warden say, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and walk right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. So that's the life of Riley, who met a very pleasant end. They say that up in heaven he's St. Patrick's greatest friend. When Riley took his final breath on his last earthly day, St. Peter at the pearly gates to Riley he did say, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and walk right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. One last time, don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Just lift the latch and walk right in, me boy. Don't bother to knock, don't bother to knock. Come in and make yourself at home. Lovely job knocking there.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to go a ways back in time now. I said that was an old song from the 70s. And now we're going to go back to a story of the first invasion of Ireland, the first people coming into Ireland to settle Ireland. Ireland was under the Tuatha Dé Danann, the fairy people, and there were 3 goddesses. When a Milesian vessel approached Ireland, 3 goddesses of the Tuatha Dé Danann cast a spell so that the invaders could not come onto the land. However, after 9 waves, or 9 tides, the Milesian druid Amergin Brightknee broke the spell with an incantation, and the Milesians seized Ireland, dating to perhaps the 7th century. What follows is considered to be the earliest surviving Irish poem.
As he set his right foot on the land of Ireland, Amergin Brightknee, son of Mule, recited the following lay. I am a wind in the sea, a stormy billow, an ocean sound, a stag of 7 combats, a hawk on a cliff, a teardrop of the sun. I am fair. I am a boar for valor, a salmon in a pool, a lake in a plain, an outstanding eminence, excellence of arts. I am a spear in smiting that deals decay, a god who forms leaders for a ruler, who grazes on the stony places of the mountain, Who tells the ages of the moon? Where lies the setting of the sun? Who carries off cattle from the house of Tethra? Who are the cattle of Tethra who laugh? What man, what god forms weapons? Octavert the Hoshadesh Nerin, Ospartavrin Blungel McBillies, and Leeds so she's. On good moon, on town Tretton, on Fulham Mara, on Dalshire Grand, on Shane Nine, on their crania, on Queen. On Torkergal, on Moeleen, on Lochemai, on Brionda, on Bridonna. On Gai vor Ferris Fiotta, on Dia Delvis do Huon Hudna. Cook no gilly hotter slaver, Kia on cargan asa eskai, Kia do a light for the grania, Kia bear moor on the tetra, Kia poor tetra tilla. Elvis Fuevra, Kiton Kitia, Elvis Fuevra, Kiton Kitia, Elvis Fuevra.
Okay, so a little bit more time travel from the 8th century to the early 14th century. And these are some pieces from the service of for Saint Bridget. And did you hear that note being out that whole time? This harp is a copy of a harp that is from the early 14th century, and it's known as the Trinity College harp, and it's arguably the oldest triangular frame harp in the world, surviving example, and so it's fun to play music that would be of this period on the instrument. And it sounds different to you. A Gaelic harp has metal strings, typically brass, but this harp, the entire bass range is strung in high carat gold, 22 and 18 karat gold, just monofilament. And So for these tones down here, to get that kind of tone out of a metal string, a monofilament, not like a guitar string, but straight metal, of other metals, you'd need, nearly twice as long in length to get a similar quality of tone. So it's a really great tuning solution for a harp shaped in this triangle shape, not a high-headed harp, but a low-headed harp, if you see what I mean. That allows for enough graduation in the string lengths for the bass. And it's played with fingernails, and I'm playing on the wrong side, which is the correct side. This is how in Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, they played with the harp on the left shoulder. And it makes a really profound difference as I've learned through the years. I'm self-taught because it's a tradition that died out 200 years ago. It was a long oral tradition, and only at the very end did they write down the music that was played. And the oldest of the 10 harpers left was Dennis O'Hampson. He was 97 years old when a 19-year-old organist wrote down some of the pieces he played. So it's a very fun investigation going back. But anyhow, this is a time period which is consistent with this instrument. heard how long these notes can ring out, right? So when I hit a wrong one, it's double trouble. Okay, audience vote time. We can't decide. Are we going to do a song about a bare knuckles boxer, Irish boxer, or a funny song composed by a man who emigrated from Ireland to St. Paul, Minnesota in the 20s? Oh.
I'm feeling like singing the one from Pat Hill. He's originally from County Tipperary. You know, County Tipperary. It's a long way to Tipperary. He's from the Silver Mines region, and he immigrated to this country by way of Canada, in Winnipeg, Canada, then down to the Twin Cities region of Minnesota. And back in the early 1920s. And he didn't go home for the first time until the 1960s, over 40 years. And Ireland had changed quite a bit.
And so this song is the result.
He wrote this little poem, and I put it to music.
Oh, and Charlie wrote a final verse to it as well.
I've lately just travelled to Ireland, her mountains and valleys to view, the vales of Tipperary and Wicklow, and lakes of Killarney so blue. I purchased a lighter in Nina, it pictured a wild Irish track. Kate Neal Falchuk was on it, with Made in Japan on the back. I heard the sweet ringing of Shandon, the lark in the clear air so fine. I saw the spuds grow in the garden, met Molly, the rose of Mooncoin. I bought a shillelagh in Galway, with shamrocks in green and in black. God Save Old Ireland was on it, with Made in Japan on the back. I drank a small whiskey in Dublin, near where our brave patriots died. A customer sang sweet McCushla and come back to Erin with pride. I purchased a small box of matches, that lighter had broken, alack. It pictured O'Connell Street, Dublin, with Made in Japan on the back. Today I am settled in marriage, I've taken a fine Irish wife. We live by the sweet river Shannon, away from the maddening strife. Our first baby came with the springtime, a bouncing young fellow named Jack, with eyes like the blue skies of Ireland, but I'm scared for to look at his back. Mitsubishi, Toyota, and Yamaha too. Sony, Hitachi, Toshiba, and Sanyo, to name just a few. Oh, thanks so much. Morrissey?
Let's, no. If we do the bare knuckles boxing one, we'll put it in a little bit later because of similar instrumentation. Oh, we'll do it now.
Because you're going to pick up the drum, right?
Yeah, yeah. Morrissey was a real hero. Actually, he emigrated from Ireland to upstate New York and worked as a bouncer. He's from the wrong side of the tracks, and he worked as a bouncer in a bar, and then he joined the Navy. And it's while he was in the Navy at various ports around the world that he would fight these bare knuckles, that's without gloves, boxing matches. And he's a real fellow, and he retired undefeated, which gives away the ending, so no betting is allowed. And he went back to where he was from, and he tried to buy a place in the good part of town, and no one would sell to him, so he went upwind and built a soap factory. He also established the very first horse race track in this country in Saratoga Springs. So, more than you ever thought you might know about Johnny Morrissey.
Come all you gallant Irishmen, wherever you may be, I hope you'll pay attention and listen unto me when I sing about a battle that took place the other day between a Russian sailor and Johnny Morrissey. 'Twas in Terra del Fuego in South America. The Russian challenged Morrissey, and these words to him did say, I hear you are a fighting man, and wear the belt I see. Indeed, I wish you would consent to have a round with me. Then up spoke Alan Morrissey, with heart both brave and true. I am a valiant Irishman that never was subdued, for I can wear the Yankee, the Saxon, bull or bay. In honor of old Ireland, the laurel still I'll wear. They shook hands and walked around the ring, commencing then to fight. It filled each Irish heart with pride, for to behold the sight. The Russian he drew first blood in the 11th round. With Yankee, Saxon, Russian cheers, the valley did resound. The Irish offered 4-1 that day upon the grass. No sooner said than taken up, and it's down they brought the cash. They carried away without delay the 22nd round, when Morrissey received a blow which brought him to the ground. For a minute and a half our hero lay before that he could rise. The word went right around the ring, he's dead was all their cries. But Morrissey worked manfully and rising from the ground. From then until the 30th round the Russian he put down. Up to the 37th round 'twas fall and fall about, which caused the foreign tyrant to keep a sharp lookout. The Russian called his seconds to have a glass of wine. Our Irish hero smiled and said, this battle's surely mine. The 38 decided all when the Russian felt his heart, and Morrissey with a mighty blow struck the Russian on the heart. The doctor he was called in to open up a vein. He says it is quite useless, they'll never fight again. Our hero conquered Thompson and the Yankee Clipper too. With an Boy and Shepherd he nobly did subdue. So fill ye up a flowing glass, and here's to health good yard, to noble Johnny Morrissey who came from Templemore. 38th, yeah.
Gosh, somehow, I should know better than this, but somehow I was done by 32 rounds.
No, there's those old boxing, the bare knuckles boxing was not limited in the number of rounds or in the time of each round. The fighters went at it at the bell and kept going at it until one of them
Couldn't get up
fell
anymore.
to their knees or further. And that was the end of round one.
Yeah.
And then if he could get up and go back to his corner, they came out for round two and kept going at it until one of them couldn't answer the bell.
And they would bet on things like drawing first blood, so that you didn't have to even wait to the end of the fight to win a bit of money. Okay.
Oh, we're going to get to drinking now.
We've been doing drinking songs. We started out with the Don't Bother to Knock. That's a drinking song. Yeah.
Yeah, for those that drink illegal whiskey.
Yeah. And so this one, though, it's a drinking song, but it's also a bagpipe lament that I've put on the harp. And the name of the music is a Glasvier, which actually relates to the harp tradition, and it might have been composed for harp. And the words of we put it to this music of Pibroch, and it's pretty fun. I like this a lot because the first verse has only one word in it in the final phrase. And so it's all lol. All.
Drink, drink, drink. That's the only word you have to remember when you're singing this song. When you're singing along on the chorus.
I don't know, I'm thinking it's an onomatopoeic word that came from all. And there's a part for you in it. And if you can't remember words, just sing the one that was sung before.
Oh, just watch me and I'll invite you to sing.
And actually, this is actually more serious. This is lamenting a drinking partner, a good friend who is no longer around. And the harp sings it. That's your bit.
All what a cute kiss, all alone. All are enduring, all alone. All my cute kiss, all alone. kronen korg, kronen gaud, kronen korg, hei god, kronen korg, hei god, e gold, e gold. thank you. I think we're going to carry on.
Did I have a senior moment there?
You may have. I think we're going to carry on here with the theme of drinking. You may have heard of the harper composer Turlock O'Carolan. He was the last of the harper composers, and he died in 1738, and he left well over 200 of his compositions in the tradition, in the oral tradition, with musicians playing them, and that's how they survived. This is one of them that isn't very well known because it wasn't paired with the correct poetry.
The music was in a Scottish collection, and the poetry was in an unpublished manuscript. And we didn't, a lot of things we've put together have been first at, but not this one. A friend of ours in Ireland put it together, but she only matched the words to the very second part and not the first part of the song, and we've matched it to both by hook or by crook, and we think this is how it goes, but it's very fun to, it's sort of like archaeology, finding these broken shards and putting it together, and you get a complete piece of music.
It's a piece for the McNeil family, and
Of Scotland.
it's in their honor, and it's really, the poem is very short. It's really just a short toast to McNeil, and it ends up with, it'd be drinking, if all of the ocean were wine, they would be drinking McNeil's to his health. Lean shin do shin shine at yo shin, 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 me badul dol carje. She doeth MacDonald, is MacLeod, is Ushlavorna Alba. North of McNeil, the fair of it sealed, on the feet gone there on Argan. Lean shin ol shin shine at yo shin, ni badul dod carje. Lean shin ol shin shine at yo shin, ni badul dod carje. She took MacDonald, this MacLeod, is Ushlavorna Alba. Gondol from McNeil, the fair of it sailed, on a fleet gone there on Well, it's about time that I strap on the accordion and we play some dance music. We'll start with
A jig, we played it as a treble jig.
Treble jig.
So you have to imagine, you all know your man Michael Flatley from Chicago, the Riverdance lad, Lord of the Dance fellow. Yep. I was going to say this with the boxing. Did you know that Michael was a Golden Gloves champion in Chicago?
Boxing champion.
And he very nearly became a pro boxer because he wasn't making it with Irish music and dance.
This is before the river dance.
And I was a little sorry, that he didn't, because I kept on thinking of how he would bring, how people would really enjoy in a boxing match. Can you imagine him doing some fancy footwork?
Play a set of reels now, pick up the tempo a bit, and then we'll take a short break. We'll let you get up and stretch your legs. And we hope to see you back in just a few minutes after that. We'll be back with another set of harp music and dance music and song.
That was pretty wonderful. Ann and Charlie said that after their last set, they'd be willing to answer questions about their instruments and some of their music. And they also have some CDs out front for purchase after the concert. So we'll give them a break and let them stretch and let you stretch, and they'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you very much. Well, let's welcome back Ann and Charlie.
Okay, what Irish word did you learn today? Yeah. song. I'm not sure when it was written, but I think the brand cereal Cheerios had been invented. Anyhow, this is for people who have been mothers, and I think people who have been sons. It's for all of you.
Anyone who's been raised a young boy has gone through this process.
Yeah, this was new to me. We had 2 girls.
Oh, my name is Aidan Murphy and I'm just 3 years of age. I tell you now, I'm going through me toilet training stage. Indeed, let's see, age, like oh, the thing they call the Cheerio, I eat them by the score, and seeing them in the toilet, it grieves me heart full sore. But target practice beating me, trade me hunger, I'll lay low. I'll train me guns upon it and sink the Cheerio. And sink the Cheerio, me boys, and sink the Cheerio. I'll train me guns upon it and sink the Cheerio. Now when first I went to pee me boys, the place was quite a wreck. And many's the time me poor old ma, she had to swab the deck. Indeed, 'twas she did first decree the way that things should go. She made me stand upon me stool to sing the Cheerio. To sing the Cheerio, me boys, to sing the Cheerio. She made me stand upon me stool to sing the Cheerio. Now the thing they call the Cheerio is to sing the singing of the Cheerio. It is no easy task. A bit of oat designed to float, so stubbornly does it pass. Like an arrow through a bullseye, you must direct your flow. It takes coordination to sing the Cheerio. To sing the Cheerio, me boys, to sing the Cheerio. It takes coordination to sing the Cheerio. But now, when next to the grocery aisle me folks and I do stray, I'll step up to a grocery boy and to him I will say, "Avast me gallant grocery boy, I bet you didn't know, you now behold the sailor bold who sang the Cheerio. Who sang the Cheerio, me boys, who sang the Cheerio. You now behold the sailor bold who sang the Cheerio." So come all you jolly playmates and listen unto me. Be proud of your pea shooters as ever a lad should be. For next time for someday when we're big boys to a tavern we will go. Fill up the bowl again, me boys, and sing the Cheerio. And sing the Cheerio, me boys, and sing the Cheerio. Fill up the bowl again, me boys, and sing the Cheerio. Sing a song in Irish here. Another one.
And it's a conversation between a woman and her beau, and he's telling her how great he is with everything, and she's reminding him where he's not so great. Her name is Sound of Rinula, and you'll hear that here and there. That's her name anyhow.
Liaren to spray, the sound they bring you like ball and the skates get change the word funny me. Oh no house and how they bring you like bushless the soaring tail like a civil law. That chorus, A like a civil law, sounding Rinula is the name of the girl. And A like a civil law on the last line is elope and run away with me. Farm up and mark to make our fart on the first was at the slaughter of young and younger. Oh, no house and how may bring you the bushless the soaring tail of the civil law. Master Bob War, McDowell, the Cardiff, which looked me waters, me poking my American. Oh, no house and how may bring you the bushless the soaring tail of the civil law. Master Bob War, get your electric neurosi, the horsey, stocky not one sheep. Oh, no house and how may bring you the bushless the soaring tail of the civil law. Near Falmouth, the Gowler, Town, I shall put you down and cowl on oh, no house, I'll never bring you up. Bushless is sorry. Ela is similar. You know that Ireland is still a quite rural country, despite the growing population in the cities. And this song was written by a farmer who had a mule, and he was sick of the city folk coming around to visit and not knowing how to behave around his mule. And he thought it was getting kind of dangerous. So he wrote this little song to teach him. And it has a chorus that goes like this. On mules you'll find 2 feet behind, and 2 you'll find before. You stand behind before you find what the feet behind before. If you're behind the feet behind, you'll find what they before. So, and this is the crux of it all, so stand before the feet behind and behind the feet before. So, yeah, do you understand that? Stand behind the feet behind. So stand before the feet behind, in front of the back feet, and behind the feet before, behind the front feet.
Behind the 4 feet, yeah.
So if you're
Front feet.
in front of the back feet and behind the front feet, you're right in the middle, beside the mule, and not in front of or behind the mule. So So this is the way.
And if some of you are agriculturally minded out there, my favorite line in this is about the mule's family tree, because you know mules can't reproduce themselves yet. It's and a henny is the other, and I always forget. Is it a horse stallion and a donkey mare that make it a mule? And a henny is the other way around. But people are getting, I think it's a pandemic, getting confused about gender these days.
So the chorus goes like this. On mules you find 2 feet behind, and 2 you'll find before. You stand behind before, you find with the feet behind before. If you're behind the feet behind, you'll find what they before. So stand before the feet behind, and behind the feet before. Jack the carter, and I work around the town. I have a strong and sturdy mule to pull me cart around. But speaking from experience, advice I'll give to you: never stand behind a mule, for it's a dangerous thing to do. On mules you find 2 feet behind, and 2 you'll find before. You stand behind before, you find with the feet behind before. If you're behind the feet behind, you'll find what they before. So stand before the feet behind, and behind the feet before. The mule, it is an animal of very low degree. He doesn't have a single branch upon his family tree. He's stubborn and he's clever, and that is all because his father was a donkey and his mother was a horse. On mules you'll find 2 feet behind, and 2 you'll find before. You stand behind before, you find with the feet behind before. If you're behind the feet behind, you'll find what they before. So stand before the feet behind, and behind the feet before. Now to conclude and finish, my song is at an end. In spite of a few accidents, that mule is still my friend. I must admit that o'er the years he's kicked me once or twice. So before I go, I'll leave you with this piece of sound advice. On mules you'll find 2 feet behind, and 2 you'll find before. You stand behind before, you find with the feet behind before. If you're behind the feet behind, you'll find what they before. So stand before the feet behind, and behind the feet before. So stand behind for the feet behind, and behind the feet before.
Okay, well, I guess I should listen more to Charlie's singing. Now we know the truth about the stallion and the mare and the donkeys and horses. Okay. Oh, okay, gosh. Sure. This is my pick. We have a set list up here in case we can't think of what we know or what can we possibly play. But as soon as we have a set list up here, then we get other ideas. So this was my choice.
So, going from the mule to a working horse here.
Yeah. This is called The Last Trip Home, and it's marking the end of the days of the Clydesdale horse is a working animal outside of the show ring and the parade arena. The Clydesdale. This is
Outside of the Budweiser beer truck.
This was composed by a friend of ours, Davy Steele, who wrote this not long before he passed away from an inoperable brain tumor. He's a wonderful singer and married to a harp playing friend of ours.
It's the farmer talking, the chorus is the farmer talking to his horses on their last trip home from the fields. The Clydesdale horses won my heart. With big broad backs they proudly stand, the uncrowned king of all the land. And yet for all their power and strength, they're as gentle as a summer's wind. So steady, boys, walk on, your work is nearly done. No more you'll till the plough the fields, the horse's day is gone. And this will be our last trip home, so steady boys, walk on. You'll hear men sing their songs of praise of Arab stallions in a race, or hunters that fly with the hounds to chase the fox and run him down. But none of them compare, I vow, to a working horse who pulls the plough. So steady boys, walk on, your work is nearly done. No more will till or plough the fields, the horse's day is gone. And this will be our last trip home, so steady boys, walk on. In all the years I've plied my trade, and all the fields we've plowed and laid, I never thought the day would come a Clydesdale's work would e'er be done. But progress runs its driven course, and tractors have replaced the horse. So steady boys, walk on, your work is nearly done. No more will till or plough the fields, the horse's day is gone. And this will be our last trip home, so steady boys, walk on. As we head back, our friends have left the road to be there one last time. For none of them would want to miss the chance to see us pass like this. They'll say they saw in years to come the Clydesdale horse's last trip home. So steady boys, walk on, your work is nearly done. No more will till or plough the fields, the horse's day is gone. And this will be our last trip home, so steady boys, walk on, your work is nearly done. No more will till or plough the fields, the horse's day is gone. And this will be our last trip home, so steady boys, walk on. What do you do? All right. Well, we're going to finish off with one last set of tunes, but we'd like to thank you for coming out tonight, this afternoon, actually.
And if someone is interested, anyone is interested, we're happy to chat with you a bit. You can come up and check out the instruments or hear some legends or
And we'd like to thank the Perry Fine Arts Association here for bringing us in, and Kathy Clark, and of course
sound man.
sound man Steve Cook.
So thank you very much.
once again, thanks to Ann and Charlie. We appreciate it. And thank you all for coming. The next concert will be at the church on November the 2nd, and then we'll be back here December the 8th for our Christmas concert. So if you have questions about the instruments, they will be happy to share, and I'll be out selling CDs. So I'll turn it over to you guys.
Oh, and we're having to sign CDs too.
Okay.
If you have a plan.
Accordion, and we play some dance music. We'll start with
A jig, we played it as a treble jig.
treble jig.
So you have to imagine, you all know your man Michael Flatley from Chicago, the river dance lad, Lord of the Dance fellow. Yep. I was going to say this with the boxing. Did you know that Michael was a Golden Gloves champion in Chicago?
Boxing champion.
And he very nearly became a pro boxer because he wasn't making it with Irish music and dance.
This is before the river dance.
And I was a little sorry, that he didn't, because I kept on thinking of how he would bring, how people would really enjoy in a boxing match. Can you imagine him doing some fancy footwork?